I was standing in the hospital hallway at 3 a.m. watching doctors rush past me. Couldn't understand. The words were stuck like concrete somewhere deep inside my chest. All I could do was close my eyes and hope you did the rest. I couldn't form a sentence, couldn't find the right words to say. Just stood there shaking silent while my world gave way. But somewhere in that quiet, in that wordless desperate plea, I felt you in the hallway, standing next to me. When my voice was gone and all I had was fear, somehow you translated every tear. You heard me anyway. When I had no words left to pray, when my faith was just a whisper in the dark, you heard the language of my heart. I didn't have to speak your name out loud. You met me in the silent, in the sacred holy now. When all I had was nothing left to say, you heard me anyway. There've been 1,000 moments when I couldn't find my voice, sitting in my truck at midnight, paralyzed by choice, wanting to reach out to you but not knowing how to start. Just driving through the darkness with a heavy wordless heart, or lying next to her at night when sleep won't come around. The weight of all I'm carrying too thick to make a sound. I used to think that prayer required eloquence and grace. Now I know you hear me even in the empty space. When my lips won't move and all I've got is need, somehow that's the prayer you're listening for from me. You heard me anyway. When I had no words left to pray, when my faith was just a groan too deep for speech, you heard what I couldn't reach. I didn't have to have it figured out. You read between the silence and the doubt. When all I had was broken parts to lay, you heard me anyway. Maybe prayer ain't always poetry. Maybe sometimes it's just breathing, just showing up, just staying still, just the ache of need and feeling. Maybe you don't need my explanations or my perfectly rehearsed confessions. Maybe the most honest prayer I've got is just the weight of my expression. The tears I couldn't cry, the words I couldn't find, the hope I couldn't voice, the faith I couldn't define. You heard me anyway. Every time I tried and couldn't pray, every silent Sunday morning in the pew, you knew, somehow you knew. I didn't have to say it right aloud. You saw through all my walls and through my proud. You heard the prayers I couldn't even make, the ones that lived in heartbreak, when all I had was silence and a phrase. You heard me anyway. Yeah, you've always heard me anyway. In the quiet, in the empty space, you were listening all along. I pulled off Highway 65, just south of Nashville in the rain. Saw a little white church sitting there, no cars, no people, just a stain of 100 years of weather on a wooden door. I walked inside not knowing what I was looking for. The pews were empty, lights were dim, just candles by the cross. I sat down in the back row with the weight of all I lost. Then I spoke out loud, just testing if anyone could hear. And my voice came back to me, but it didn't sound like fear. In that empty sacred space where I thought I was alone, I heard my own voice answer like it wasn't just my own. There's an echo in the chapel when you speak into the silence. Every prayer you think goes nowhere comes back wrapped in providence. You may think you're talking to yourself in an empty room with God, but the echo is His answer that you've been heard all along. There's an echo in the chapel, and it sounds like you're not alone. I started naming all the things I've been too scared to say, the regrets, the broken promises, the people pushed away. I confess the shame I buried, let it spill out on the floor. And the acoustics of that chapel carried every word back more. Like the building itself was listening, like the walls knew how to speak, like the silence wasn't empty, it was just the space between my crying out and heaven's voice, reminding me I'm known, that even when I'm by myself, I've never been alone. In that holy reverberation, in that ancient wooden room, I heard grace in repetition, I heard mercy breaking through. There's an echo in the chapel when you speak into the silence. Every prayer you think goes nowhere comes back like a promise. You may think you're talking to yourself in a moment no one sees, but the echo is God saying, I'm right here on your knees. There's an echo in the chapel, and it sounds like, child, you're home. Maybe faith is hearing your own voice and trusting it's not just reflection. Maybe God speaks back in echoes to remind us of the connection between the cry and response, between the question and the knowing, that every word we send to heaven is already answered in the going. The sound doesn't disappear, it just transforms in the returning. Like our prayers don't fall on silence, they fall on ears that have been yearning. There's an echo in the chapel when you speak into the silence. Every prayer you think He's missing comes back multiplied by kindness. You may think you're talking to yourself in a sanctuary of stone, but the echo is His Spirit saying, I have heard every groan. There's an echo in the chapel, and it sounds like love responding. There's an echo in the silence, and it's been there all along. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. Thank you for hearing me. I used to think that God was looking for the ones who had it all together. The Sunday morning perfect, with their Bibles bound in leather. The ones who never stumbled, never questioned, never fell. Who could quote the verses and had stories they could tell. So I stayed away for years, because I couldn't make the cut. Kept my mess behind closed doors and my brokenness shut. Till someone told me something that I never heard before. He ain't looking for perfection, that's not what the cross was for. He don't need another statue standing spotless in a row. He wants the ones who know they're broken, who got nowhere else to go. He doesn't want showcase saints, he wants mended hearts. Not the ones who got it figured out, but the ones who fall apart. He ain't looking for your best performance or your holiest facade. He just wants your honesty, your scars, your fragile faith, your cracked and glued together parts. He doesn't want showcase saints, he wants mended hearts. I walked into that church last week with shame hung on my sleeve. Expected judgment, got a hug from folks who told me we believe that Jesus came for sinners, came for people just like us, who've tried and failed 1,000 times and still can't earn his trust. The pastor spoke of prodigals and tax collectors finding grace, of prostitutes and fishermen who saw the Savior's face, and how he chose the broken ones, the outcasts and the lost, to show that love ain't something we can earn, it's just the cost. He don't want our resumes of righteousness we've built. He wants to heal the places we've been hiding in our guilt. He doesn't want showcase saints, he wants mended hearts. Not the ones pretending they're okay, but the ones who bear the marks. He ain't asking for perfection or a life without a scar. He just wants your messy, honest, real. Your this is who we are, with every crack and broken part. He doesn't want showcase saints, he wants mended hearts. Maybe that's the whole point of the gospel story, that God came down for people, not for glory. That the stone the builders rejected became the cornerstone. They're the ones who think they've got it made, might miss it on their own, while the broken and the humble find the mercy that they need. 'Cause God don't measure worthiness by performance or by deed. He measures by the hunger, by the reaching through the dark, by the willingness to come to him with an Not the ones who've never fallen, but the ones who've learned to start again and yet again. With every stumble, every scar, he ain't impressed by our illusions. He just loves us as we are. With every wound and every part, he's always wanted mended hearts, not showcase saints, just mended hearts. Come as you are, broken and beautiful. That's what he's been waiting for. There's a worn-out King James on the mantle by the door, pages marking coffee stains from 1964. My daddy's handwriting in the margins, notes he'd write about the verses that got him through the hardest nights. He wasn't much for preaching, never quoted scripture proud, but I'd see him in a workshop with his head bowed down, talking to the Lord like he was standing right beside, teaching me that faith ain't something you just recite. He showed me more in silence than most men say out loud, that holiness is hidden in the humble and the bowed. He gave me callous hands from working in the sun, a backbone made of honesty and battles he had won. He gave me roots that run deep in this Tennessee clay, but the greatest gift he left me was a simple way he'd pray. Not with fancy words or promises he couldn't keep, just a rugged kind of faithfulness that went down to the deep. Now I'm the man I am because of who he was. He gave me more than blood and bones, he gave me what he loved, a working man's religion and a father's steady hands. That's the inheritance he left, that's where my own faith stands. I found a letter in that Bible dated 91, written to my mother when I was their only son. Said if something happens to me out here on this rig, tell the boy I loved him, tell him faith ain't something big. It's in the little choices, in the keeping of your word, in the way you treat a stranger when you think you're not observed. Tell him God is in the honest work, the sweat, the dirt, the grind. Tell him I'll be watching from the other side. Well, he made it home that day, but 30 years have passed, and every word he wrote me then is holding strong and fast. He gave me calloused hands for fixing what was broke, a compass made of character in every word he spoke. He gave me strength to stand when everything gives way, but the greatest gift he left me was he showed me how to pray. Not with grand theology or doctrines I can't reach, just a simple, steady trust in God that lived His time, His ease, His comfort, for His family and His faith. That's the legacy I'm holding, that's the path I'm gonna take. Maybe manhood ain't about the money that you make, or the spotlight, or the platform, or the credit that you take. Maybe it's about the quiet way you love the ones you're giving, and the way you point them homeward by the way you choose to live it. My daddy was a giant, though he never stood that tall. His faith was in the faithful, in the getting up when you fall. He gave me calloused hands and a heart that knows to bend, a faith that's seen the fire and came out stronger in the end. He gave me eyes to see God in the ordinary days, but the greatest gift He left me was He showed me heaven's ways. Not through perfection, but through being something more, just through loving God and people from His core. Now I'm raising up my children with that Bible by my side, praying I can give them what my Father gave to mine. A faith that's carved in living, not just written on a page. There's the inheritance worth passing through the age. Thank you, Daddy. For the hands, for the faith, for showing me the way. I've been driving 18 wheels from Tucson to Cheyenne. Got a thermos full of coffee and a wedding ring tan. She's back home in Georgia with the kids and the bills, and I'm chasing down the miles across these endless hills. The CB's been quiet since I crossed the state line, and just static in my thoughts and this two-lane dotted line. Then a station breaks through somewhere around midnight. An old hymn my mama used to sing comes crackling through the night, and suddenly this cab don't feel so empty anymore, like someone's riding shotgun that I didn't see before. I find God on the AM dial, in the gospel songs that keep me going mile after mile, in the truck stop where a waitress calls me home, in the sunrise breaking over Oregon. He ain't just in the steeple or the Sunday morning pews. He's in the lonesome, in the diesel and the dust, in the rainstorms on my windshield, washing through the rust. I find God on the AM dial, and He's been with me all the while. Pulled into a rest stop outside Kansas City at dawn. Saw an old man feeding pigeons, had a Bible he'd drawn. Passages and marker looked like he'd been there all night. He looked up, smiled and said, "Brother, you doing all right?" We talked about the road, about the way we carry, about being far from home and the folks who wait and worry. He said, "Son, I drove a rig for 37 years, and the best sermon I ever heard was God saying I'm right here in the ordinary moments, in the passing and the gone, in the strangers who remind you that you're never quite alone." I find God on the AM dial, in the preacher's voices keeping me awake for one more mile, in the kindness of a stranger at the pump, in the way the road keeps going when I want to give up. He ain't just in the holy places that we know by name. He's in the journey and the distance and the wearing of the game, in the lightning splitting open up a midnight sky. I find God on the AM dial, and He's the reason why I drive. Maybe sacred ain't a building, maybe it's a state of mind. Maybe church is anywhere you're seeking and you're willing just to find that every gas station, every lonely stretch of road, every moment that you're breathing is a place that He calls home. And the highway is a chapel when you're talking to the one who made the asphalt and the mountains and the rising of the sun. I find God on the AM dial, in the hymns that hold me steady through the dark and through the trial, in the payphone call back home that makes me cry, in my daughter's voice that tells me, "Daddy, drive safe tonight." He ain't come find an altar or the places set apart. He's in the diesel and the distance and the aching in my heart, in the fog that lifts in morning, in the hawk on the wire. I find God on the AM dial, and He turns this road to quiet. Yeah, He makes this lonesome sacred. Every single mile. 10-4, good buddy. I'm not laying on here, never was. Lord, it's just me and you out here on I-80, somewhere between everywhere and nowhere. The sun's coming up over the mountains and it's so beautiful it almost hurts. I wish my family could see this, I wish I was home. But I'm grateful that you meet me here, in this cab that smells like old coffee and diesel, on this road that never seems to end. Thank you for being in the unlikely places. Thank you for showing up in the static of a gospel station and the smile of a waitress who's been on her feet for 10 hours. And the old man at the rest stop who reminded me I'm not the only one who's tired and far from home. Thank you for making church out of highways and sanctuaries out of solitude. I don't get to sit in the pew every Sunday. I don't get to tuck my kids in every night. But I'm learning that you're not bound by geography or schedules. You're here, right here in the sunrise and the struggle and the steering wheel under my calloused hands. So I'm praying for safe travels for the families of every driver out here, for the strength to keep going when the miles get heavy. And I'm thanking you for reminding me that wherever I am, you are.
that this rig is holy ground if you're in it with me. Keep me safe, keep me faithful, and help me get home soon. Amen, over and out.